I'm angry at myself, Pezza, because I had hope. I had hope that with a one-run lead, that was going to be enough. And I had hope that this Australian team, a good team, had turned a corner. And I'm so dumb. I'm dumb. I'm a dumb idiot. And I hate these bastards. You know, they're our boys, Pez. These are our boys, but I need to hate them. I hate these bastards and what they've done to me today. I'm just a simple man in India. A simple man in India.
Agree.
And what they've done to me today and to Australians around the world, least of all back home, having to watch that shit, that dribble. I hate them. I hate them. Welcome back to the Great Cricketer. TGC is powered by CRED throughout the Border Gavaskar Trophy, which will last for another 45 minutes in the next 2 test matches, the way these idiots are batting. And we're using the scan and pay feature on CRED throughout this tour. Under the scanner is my brain to thinking like, am I missing bits of my brain for believing and having hope? I know it's the hope that kills me. And also passive degenerative disease. And some memory loss in there. Just forgetting that this happens over and over and over again. And that's under the scanner for the scan and pay app on CRED. And I'm just thinking, why am I so dumb to believe and have hope that Australia could have done something? Was it the one-run lead? Did it give me some false hope? Yes, it did. I hate him. I hate him, Pez.
You know what you sound like?
Yeah?
You sound like one of those guys who or people who repeatedly fail in relationships, you know? And all of their...
I told you that in confidence.
And all of their friends say, behind their backs or to their face, gee, you can really pick 'em, can't you? You can really pick 'em. And I thought, of all of the losses today, this is a pretty good one. In the annals of Australian cricket, modern Australian cricket, this is a pretty good loss.
Yeah.
I want to explain why. Firstly, as you said, India has taken cumulatively 5 days to retain the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Both tests go for 2.5 days, frankly.
Hell of a fight.
Today, if somehow you didn't catch the score, and I got a feeling a whole bunch of Indians did, and are tuning in with tissues next to them. But Australia resumes at 61 for 1 or some shit, and they lose 9 for nothing.
Yeah.
Jadeja finishes with 7 for 42. In Australia, though, Ravindra Jadeja just kills us at any cost at any time.
Yeah.
In Australia, he's still regarded as someone who just bowls these ones.
Yeah. Just little doorknobs.
It's not going to be anything due to India's success or excellence in the spin department that Australia lost.
I've had enough of that
I'm going to explain. He goes, it wasn't just the collapse today. It was that it wasn't the right kind of collapse.
Right. What do you mean?
Something seismic has happened today. And I can feel it already. So, you need to understand the collapse today against the backdrop of hard noses. Right, so we can talk about hard-nosed stuff. We can talk about hardness and toughness and how they're nebulous concepts, really. No one really knows what the fuck they mean or how they manifest. But, that isn't quite right, because there are some symbols and rituals and actions that, that symbolise the hard nose. And you know what the number one symbol is? The straight bat. The straight bat is to hard-nosed cricket what Stalin's boots were to communism. And today is a great day for the straight bat, because this modern, progressive Australian team under a captain that supports causes recognising anthropogenic climate change, they went with BROOM politics today.
Right.
They went with the cross bat.
Yeah.
They played across the line.
Yeah.
And they lost. They offended the hard-nosed straight batsmen throughout Australia, of which we're all one.
Yep.
Really. And I think they may have broken something in this movement that they've been trying to stand up for a long time. So they didn't just lose, they lost playing across the line. Nothing will upset an older person more than that. Now, I'll watch Usman Khawaja make 81, playing wonderful sweeps and brooms. I'm not going to say a fucking thing about it.
No.
But as soon as we start losing wickets playing across the line, you're out the door as far as I'm concerned. Get out the door.
Pez, I understand there are structural reasons for, Australia's failure in India over the course of many years and many attempts coming over here, etc., etc. I don't care. When I see blokes fucking playing across the line, getting the broom out and just missing him, and front pads are getting fucking blown off deluxe, what the fuck am I supposed to do, mate?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do except tip the TV up, throw it over my head, throw it off a balcony?
That's right. Get the belt out, put it around your neck, do what you need to do to...
Mate, today, watching that today was like just getting kicked in the dick over and over and over again. And, you know, a lot of people like that.
That's what watching cricket in India is like.
For some people, that's the only way they can get it going.
Yeah, that's right. Some people like that.
Yeah.
People have asked why we're here. People say, oh, is it CRED? Is it support from Red Bull?
But, you know, but then there's just always a place. And, you know, obviously Pujara's there at the end in his 100th Test match. Not sure if he caught that. And there's just some stability with that. And I'm just sometimes I just crave things that I don't even necessarily want to crave. I'm not saying I'm craving a kick in the dick. I'm just saying like it was just rash and it was relentless and there was just consistency with this plan over and over and over again that was just never working. And like at what point does the fourth LBW happen thinking like, oh, maybe put the old paddle away there?
Put the old broom away. I want to get onto that. Like, you know, using the broom in this scenario, and I loved how the Star Sports commentators repeatedly asked the Indian players what they thought about the sweep shot. And the Indian players were very... They would have been smart, the Indian players, to actually go like, no, it's actually a really good plan.
Yeah.
But
it usually works. It usually does work, yeah.
You know, broom is like... You know, on these decks, it's like an earring in the incorrect ear. You know, like it's like outlawed dancing in Footloose.
Right.
You know, it's like a séance. It's worshipping the devil's rock and roll. You know, progressive politics. But like it's gone today. Progressive politics with the broom went mad. And I think, in all seriousness, the ABs of the world have a point, because like my criticism of today and more generally is that. The modern Australian cricketer and sports person sometimes, I think, worships too much at the altar of the plan. You know, quite clearly they all had the plan.
It's very T20, isn't it?
It is. Like players zealously devote themselves to the agreed plan driven by data and computers and algorithms and all this sort of shit. They decided the broom was the answer today, and when it obviously wasn't the answer, you know, evidently it was not the answer, the broom was still the answer, because that was the plan, and you must stick to your plans because you can't execute without a plan. Plans and executions get around each other in a circle, and there's no moving from the plan or the execution. It's Broom City. Here we come. Not to be confused with Sleep City.
That's next
And we're all at 113, and the BGT is gone again.
In between Sleep City and Doors Plus Broom City.
Exactly.
So today Australia's innings today felt like a Chat GPT answer. You know, like AI answers. They might give you the answers, but there's no love. There's no warmth behind it. You know, there's no sensibility. There's no intelligence, like actual intelligence behind it.
No,
Adaptability. You know,
there's no common sense.
Right.
You know?
Not that common.
There might have been, exactly. You know, there might have been some data and some algorithms. You know, and there might have been actual data monkeys in the Australian dressing room crunching this and saying, you know what the answer is? Brooms. But there was no common sense. And that's why today I'm calling for Ravi Shastri to apply for the Australian cricket coaching position.
I think I've decided we need shoulders now. We need shoulders.
Oh, we always. It's safety, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, they have done very well to beat us without Stark, Green, and Hazelwood, who would be huge, obviously huge ins in these sort of conditions.
Well, Stark and Hazelwood with left-handed batting, especially.
Pez, mate,
left combos.
It's been a while since I've watched the TV and it's dismissal after dismissal, and I feel like I'm fucking melting into the floor. You know, I feel like I'm melting, being like
the
why?
Wicked Witch of the West.
The Wicked Witch of the West. It's exactly it. Just screaming out why? Why are you doing this? And it feels like a personal attack.
Ravindra Jadeja is Judy Garland.
And that's why I said before, Pez, you know, these are our boys. You know, we love our boys. I'll die for my boys. Not today. Fuck these bastards. I hate them. I hate you today. Just give me one day to hate you.
But do you hate them in the way that like you hated Hanscom in a lid? Like there's something redeeming about them?
No, nothing redeeming about it. I hate it in the way that, you know, like when you ask your dad for Macca's and he says no, and I hate you, Dad.
Oh yeah.
More
So
like
you
that.
love your dad.
I love my dad.
I love my dad.
Love
yeah,
my dad.
deep down.
Just give us
I'd
a
cry
fucking
at his
cheese.
funeral. I'd cry if he died.
Any danger of a cheesy dad?
Yeah.
Any danger of a quarter pounder?
Can I sit in the front, please, or are we going to drive all the way in silence?
Do I have to sit in the boot again?
Yeah, that's right. And not say anything if they tap on the boot.
Holding my cricket kit over the top of the car. Like this out the window, Dad. That's my favourite bat.
That's the relationship.
Shut up.
And today you hate Dad.
I
suppose credit to India.
No, fuck that. Well, whatever. Fuck that. I'm sick of praising these bastards as well. Everyone's a bastard today. I'm sick of it. Oh, okay. Jadeja's a left-arm spinner who just bowls to the stumps. And he must have been like, what the fuck are these idiots doing? Just sweeping. Okay, well, you're going to miss them eventually. And they miss them quite regularly in the end. We know India's good. I've said this many times before. They're very good away from home. And Australia put up a Australia, you know, I think what happened was Australia's noses were extremely hard yesterday. They played very hard yesterday.
Yes.
And they used up all the hardness.
Yes.
They had no juice left in the hardness.
Something melted the hardness.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean about today, just like watching those wickets fall and just melting, and it was just this inevitability of like next one down, like you're refreshing your apps, and like another wicket down, another wicket down.
Look, it's something to behold. You have to say, especially like being in the country, the tamasha was running hot, and you could hear the crowd going. Asher and Jadeja doing their thing, and Australia just caught up in the storm. I'm actually surprised that there was no run out, given the anatomy of that collapse. It was a Broom-related collapse, a Broom-specific collapse. They did get a run out later, but it just happened to be Rohit Sharma, because there always has to be a run out when there's a collapse. But you know, we just got India'd hard again, and I think of all the analogies today, Stalin, etc. I think getting repeatedly kicked in the dick is the apt one. I feel like we've been getting kicked in the dick in India since 2001 when Harbhajan was knocking Ponting over.
Mate, speaking of that, I saw a stat today, this afternoon. I don't have the exact numbers. Australia's record in Asia in the World Test Championship, it's something like 33 Test matches, 8 wins, 25, 20-ish losses. I mean, it's not just India. It's a systemic issue against any sort of turning ball. Obviously, these wickets are turning a lot, as is India's, as is the home team's prerogative. But it's just a systemic issue.
And I could say something earnest about that as well. And these aren't going to be comments that make it onto any clip or anything like that, so they'll just be forgotten. But instead of, I think a deeper and better question about today isn't like, why did they play the sweep shot and why didn't they use common sense? It is literally like, why did they turn to that plan? Like the plan that was rooted in this idea that they keep repeating, that there's going to be one with your name on it. You know, I don't think India plays cricket like that at home. I don't think they have that attitude of like, there's one with your name on it. Like, I appreciate the sentiment, and it actually is a very pragmatic idea. It's Australia essentially accepting that we don't, while we may have the ability, the players have the ability, we don't invest in the environments and the preparation that is required to respect the quality of India's bowlers and India's conditions. And that's what concerns me about BGT, Australia in India down the track. I think it was Greg Baum, who's a storied journalist in Australia, who said, well, I hope the BBL was worth it, you know, for what happened today. And it's not the be-all and the end.
Oh, the answer is yes, it was good.
Yeah, well, it was really good. Smith in Coffs Harbour, one of the fucking best things you ever seen. Bing! But really, like, the fact that Australia concluded on this day 3 wicket that their only way of setting a total for India was that they had to play these attacking shots. They've had a lot of success with sweeping for boundaries and to keep the score moving that way. And the fact that they couldn't, and this is a point that Ravi Shastri made. I think Gerard Whateley on SEN asked him, you know, how do you stop this tidal wave of Indian momentum when it's happening? He asked right in the middle of it, and Ravi Shastri said something very simple, which was like, well, it's shot selection and trusting your defence. Now, they're the words of a guy that doesn't look at a scenario like this and think, oh, there's no stopping Jadeja and Ashwin. He thinks if you play the right shots, in the way that India does, and they play straight, etc., you can actually get through it. But I think the fact that Australia doesn't do that is more reflective, as you say, of a systemic issue of like, they don't trust their defence for a reason. They don't play in these conditions. Why defend when you're going to get out? They may as well try and score runs. And I think that's a deeper question. That's going to get lost in the Broom politics question of like, why didn't you just play straight? If they played straight, this is the dark truth that people, I think, may disagree with, but I do think it's true. I think Australia gets bowled out for the same number of runs, possibly less if they play straight too. I just don't think they play these conditions very well.
And they won't have opportunities to prepare for these decks because there are multiple T20 games happening all the time.
And we're very okay at that too.
Yeah. But we are number 8 in the world in one of those. All right, should we do hashtag AskTGC?
Yeah, I put this question out a while ago. So.
By the way, people are asking Pez about Red Bull. Red Bull are supporting us throughout this tour, just in case people were thinking that we were just clandestinely, product placementing our way through the tour. Yes, they are supporting us.
Backing again behind it. Okay. Matt Webber says, I'd probably get Penny Wong in at 3, to be honest. Penny Wong is our foreign minister. Jack Cronin, g'day Jack. He says, do our players have too many theories? Well, they do for the next 24 to 48 hours.
They're not fucking good enough to have theories.
But they don't. but they don't when they win. Okay, someone else called ZZZ, like the sleep emoji. What difference could have Steve Smith not giving Jadeja a thumbs up have made on the outcome of this series? Would the Asian century have collapsed already?
Well, that's definitely a chat GPT reply kind of situation.
Yeah.
I do. One thing I want to say is that Cummins has won both tosses. These games would have gone for less time probably had Australia been batting second. Something to think about.
Lakun Agrawal writes, will McDonald produce the best sweep of the day when questions about Australian tactics are put under the rug? I don't think Andrew McDonald avoids questions about those things.
I barely, you know what, mate? This Australian team is fucking all over the place, aren't they? I mean, like, they've got Ashton Agar there who has admitted to himself, admitted to selectors he's not ready to bowl. They've flown Kuhneman over. There's injuries all over the place. They're bringing guys into the country. They are dropping Travis Head. They're bringing in Renshaw. Warner gets concussed. They are fucking all over the shop. I don't think they know. I think they're at sixes and sevens. I mean, this is. I mean, it's inevitable 4-0, and it probably was before the series. But just when you see it happening and the manner in which it's happened, especially today, is so galling. It's very hard to take as an Australian fan, where you expect you expect a lot more.
Just Matt says, why were our noses made of balsa wood and not tungsten or some other hard metal? It's a very good question.
Yeah.
Siddharth says, what changes will Australia make for the next test? Do you think KL deserves to play the next one? We'll take him.
For Australia, yeah?
Yeah, we'll take him. We'll take him
Big
at this
time.
point.
Does he bowl?
Okay.
Maybe one more?
Yeah, no, someone's just complaining about Virat Kohli.
Good.
Probably misses the point. I thought he looked pretty good.
Do you think KL Rahul will play the next test?
Good opportunity to change it up for India now at 2-0, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, he must have some real good mates in the change room.
Okay, what about Australia's team? Australia's team next Test match, Green will come in for me. I mean, it's about 10 days away, almost 2 weeks away. But Warner obviously won't play because he's got the hairline fracture. I would suggest it's going to be Renshaw, who just looks all over the shop in this series so far. Maybe that's harsh. I got Renshaw, Khawaja, Marner, Smith, Head. Hanscom, Green, deck chairs, whatever.
Titanic.
Fucking whatever. Now, India would be smart enough to make a green seamer. Boomer back in. Just absolutely do us. Do whatever you want. We're bent over. We're spread out. Do whatever you want.
We're the gassy. You can do what you like.